Hi, I'm Jay, and I just bought a Z3. I found this convertible manual 2000 BMW Z3 a couple hours away from home, and it was the best mix of a clean example and a good price I could find. If you guys guess the price in the comments, I'll give you nothing. Anyway, the engine, clutch, and transmission are all in good shape. It has... Hold up, I'm being kind of rude here. I didn't really introduce myself. I'm George, and you guys can call me Jay. I mostly played sports growing up, but I always loved cars. Whether it was playing with my Hot Wheels and scale models when I was a toddler, spotting and naming cars with friends on school and camp trips, or actually owning and driving them, they were always a staple in my life. But even though my dad is a mechanic and my grandpa knew a ton about cars, I never knew much about them mechanically since I was never taught. So a couple years ago I started servicing and repairing my cars to learn more. And that's how we get here to my first project car. The more I learned about cars, the more I wanted to learn. Not too long ago, my cousin taught me how to drive manual in a Miata. The very next day I started looking for a small, fun manual project car. And that's when I found my Z3. Let's get back to it then. I was initially looking for a Miata or an S2000, but the prices have gone terrible and they seem like everyone's project car. I currently dated a 2020 M340. And although throughout the years BMWs haven't exactly been the most reliable and best taken care of, I knew there was still some good ones out there. My uncle has owned BMWs for years, even some of the most notorious models, M54, and he always told me the same thing. If they're maintained properly, they can be relied upon. My Z3 has an M52 engine, which is one of BMW's last naturally aspirated straight sixes, and also known to be one of the most reliable. That gave me the confidence to get it, even though it has 181,000 miles on the clock. Now there are some things wrong with the car, of course. Alright, so I'll show you later. The suspension, front and rear, needs a complete tune-up. So you can see here, the red shadow is where the car's hood was initially when the car was rested. You can see that every bump moves the car. I know the car is never going to be perfectly still, but it should be absorbing some of these in the suspension. Problem is, you know, this is the worst one. The connecting link bushings are completely torn up. The tie rod bushings are also pretty bad. All the bushings, the rest of them are hardened. The ones that aren't torn up, those are the ones in the control arm. The ones in the sway bar are also really hardened. So the car just, like, it probably doesn't really translate that well through video, but the car is just very rattly, and it gets a lot more roll in the turns than it should, especially for such a small car. You know, you feel absolutely everything on the road, and it's not a very, you know, pleasant experience, and it gives you a lot less confidence driving the car, and it's, you know, it's really just not fun. So that's the biggest problem the car has. It's also very unstable. The road kind of just takes you, and you know, the car sways right. I understand it needs some alignment, but it's just everything feels very loose, and that's not what I want it to feel like, and obviously that's not what it's supposed to feel like. So that's probably going to be the first thing I fix. I hit this bump on purpose so you can see how bad it was. There's some dings and some paint mishaps. Headlights need some work or changing. Bumper and the fog lights need some work. This reflector needs some changing because it's broken and it's not reflectoring. They got the ones that ain't a freaking reflector because I need this indicator right here. That ain't supposed to be like that. Like that. That's a problem. It's supposed to be an antenna here. Here, we got this bulb right here does not work. That's a problem. Brakes. We need new brakes. Definitely need new brakes. We got that. Got this. We got this bull caca. We got this. We got all that trim we're gonna change. This steering wheel needs changed. I need some carpets on the floor. These seats. And move forward and backward, but don't move up and down.
missing. Then there's this. The glove box. This thing sucks. Love the door panels. I'm keeping those. Down here, gladly, there's nothing wrong. Might need a little cover for this fan right here. That is hot. Not leaking anything. Aftermarket intake. We got a dipstick. New BMWs can't say that. This is a fake badge. Soft top seals need to be replaced on either side. It also has some existing mods, which are very minor, the exhaust and the intake. I think the exhaust sounds really good. I'm not 100% sure if it's aftermarket, but I don't think it came that way. And in this next clip, you can kind of hear the intake sound a little bit. It has a little bit of a whistle. It's absolutely aspirated. But yeah, next time you see this car, it'll probably be completely different. So stay tuned, and we'll have a lot of things coming for you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed as much as I did. Thanks. See you next time. Like and subscribe.